Hi guys, well welcome back to Allotment Diggers. Happy St Patrick's Day to all my friends across the pond there, and to all my friends, all my Irish friends over here in the UK. Well, today, like I say, it's St Patrick's Day, and what do we do on St Patrick's Day? We start as potatoes off. Most people here in the UK will start the potatoes off on the 18th. It's tradition. I'm going to be starting 10 buckets off. We're going to be putting 10 buckets. We don't grow them in the ground, we grow them in buckets. So I'm going to show you how I do my seed potatoes in the buckets. We're going to be putting two varieties of seed potatoes in today. We're going to be doing the Arran Pilot and the Arran Pilot. Now the Arran Pilot, like I say, they're a great little boiling spud. I love them boiled up with some haddock and some peas, big knob of butter on them. You can't beat them. Now the my Piper, are a fantastic chipper, and that's what I use them for. So we set the first two lots off today inside the greenhouse. But before we do all that, we've got to sterilise the buckets, clean the buckets, sterilise them. We get them in here, but before we get them in here, we've got to clear everything out. What's inside the greenhouse, including the frog spawn which was in the corner. We're going to be putting it in the pond. They're showing me doing all that. And we get the buckets in a line, all the 10 buckets. You'll see me piling in the compost, bloodfish and bone, and then at that point I'll show you how I actually do one bucket of seed potatoes. After that you see me put the labels in, and we'll come back and explain a little bit more about what else we've been doing today. So here it all comes, guys. This is what we've been doing this morning.
It's St Patrick's Day today, and should have already got a load of spuds started before now, but it's been so late and doing all the other things. And today, well, we're going to start the first lot off in the front greenhouse. We'll get them off to a flying start, and we'll put them outside later. I'm not going to do lots of buckets this year, but here's the first 10 anyway. Just got to go and clean them all. They're all filthy. I'm not going to bore you to death me actually doing all that, but we'll give them a good sterilising, and then we'll meet you back at the top of the greenhouse, or the top greenhouse, near the front of the plot. I told you I wasn't going to bore you to death washing the pots out, but we've completely and we scrubbed these pots. These are going to be the first of the potatoes. Basically soaked myself in the process, but yeah, we got all the horrible stuff what was on them off them. I've used a very tiny bit of J's fluid. We completely washed them in that, and then we rinsed them all off, and then rinsed them again, so they're absolutely spotless. So there's the first 10 30-litre buckets. Now let's show you where we've got to put them. So this is what we've got to do next. We've got to move obviously the compost will be going in the buckets. At least 2.5 of them are the buckets. There's enough here to do 10 buckets. And again, all these have got to come out. We've got these lilies can go outside. Then what are just starting to come up there, red flag irises, just starting to poke through again. Again, we've got some more daffodils here. That loquat's staying in here for the time being. That's another red flag iris. We've got some hyacinths there, they need to go out. We'll keep that white one. The other one can go back of the plot where it normally goes each year. We dump them out. I'm not too sure there's anything in that pot there. I think it's just some dregs from the compost, but we put that in the bottom of the pots anyway, to keep the moisture in. It works. It's like loam or loam or whatever you like to call it. Loam, I think it's called. And we put it in the bottom of the pots. It just retains a lot of moisture. Now this here is a dwarf dahlia, and we've had it in that pot for 3 years, and it's 2 years, sorry. And it'll start to come good shortly. We're going to be keeping that in here for the time being. Obviously the frog spawn will have to go into the pond, This jasmine, we'll just have to move that to one side. All these buckets are going to have to come out of here for the time being. They will be coming back in here more than likely, but in fact they won't be coming in this one, they'll be going into the other greenhouse. This year we grow in the ground, last year we grew in these buckets. We may even use some of these buckets outside, so watch this space with that. But all this lot here has got to be moved out, so I'm going to have at it, and then we can bring the 30 litre buckets and get them set up in here. Hopefully we'll get this done today and get them all started. St. Patrick's Day, guys. St. Patrick's Day. So here we come, here's the frog spawn, and we're going to tip it into the pond here. There we go. So all the frog spawns in there now, and it's is accompanied with thousands and thousands and thousands more frog spawn. Right, clean this up and we'll get back to the potatoes. So what we're going to do now, we're just giving it a bit of a hoe in this bed. We'll get the buckets, we'll line them all up. We'll half fill them with compost, and we can start putting some of these first early potatoes in here. So we've got rid of all the pots, the frog spawns in the pond now. It's just a matter of bringing the buckets in. So I'll get the buckets, line them all up. Oh, spider. Come on, Chuck. There you go. Yep, we don't kill spiders. We don't kill frogs. We don't kill ladybirds. We don't kill anything that's beneficial to the allotments. Them spiders will keep the flies at bay. Frogs will keep the slugs at bay, and the spiders. And everything else rock and rolls. All the frogs all hopped it. They're all on the opposite side underneath me table and what have you at the moment. Yeah, we're just gonna get the buckets, tidy up a little bit in here, a little bit more, and then we'll have at it with the spuds. So here we go, we've got all the 10 buckets all cleaned up. They're all in the greenhouse waiting for compost to go into them. We're going to be using this Leventon's multi-purpose. This is the stuff that George left on me table. So we're going to use this rather than use the clover, see if it makes any difference at all. I don't know, we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm just going to add some bloodfish and bone in each of them. We're going to fill them to about a third full each bucket, and then we'll plant a couple of seed potatoes in each. I'll probably do 5 buckets of one and 5 buckets of the other, the first earlies. So that's what we're doing. I'll be right back once we've got the compost in. I will show me doing 1 bucket. Oh guys, we're putting some of this Leventon's compost into these 30 litre buckets. And yeah, this will be a first for me, using Leventon's to grow me potatoes. Been told it's pretty good stuff. It's not exactly a fine material, what gets in it, but then again it's spuds after all, so yeah, I'm just going through the motions. So once I've filled these probably a third of the way full, we'll come back and we'll mix some bloodfish and bone in, and then we can start thinking about putting some spuds in there. So say, not got much to do, so I'm going to crack on. And we'll
Guys,
as you can see, I've already put blood fishing bone in most of these. What I'd normally do is put some about that amount, scoop it up into the, and then that's about as much as I'm going to stick in. So you've got a bog roll, and it's just a matter of mixing it all in, and I'm going to continue doing this with all the other buckets, but what I'm going to show you now is straightforward. Let's grab a couple. So we're going to be putting 2 seed potatoes in each of these. Now you can see the chits on them, perfect, aren't they? There's one chit there, there's a couple of chits there. You only need 1 or 2. It depends on how many spuds you want. If you want small spuds, you leave more chits on. If you want bigger spuds, you just have 1 or 2 chits on. So it's just a matter of one side, one the other, and then it's just to quickly cover them over. As they start to rise, top them up with some compost until you get them to the top of the bucket, and just basically just keep watering them. Try to, I water them probably twice a week. It all depends on whether it's a drought. If it's a drought, it's every day. Like last year, it was really bad. But if it's raining outside, because these are good, once they get to about this big, these will be going outside. By then the tomatoes will be ready to go in the greenhouse, so I get them to about this big, outside they go, and then if it's raining like it has been for the last couple of weeks, it's not a problem. But if you get a couple of dry weeks, I would water. It all depends really, but you know, you don't want to let the soil dry out. You don't want it too damp neither, but you know, the happy medium, and you should end up with some great spuds. But yeah, rule of thumb, keep adding the compost until it gets to the top of the bucket, and then that's it. Just keep watering, that's all you got to do. So these we just used this Levington's multi-purpose compost. We're giving it a trial since I've got so much of it been given to me, and the only way I'm going to use it is to use it with the spuds. So it's an experiment, 10 buckets with Levington's. We'll be probably using clover to do the other 4. I'm probably going to be doing 20, maybe 30 buckets in total. I'm not going to go crazy like I did last year. I did 50 buckets, so what I'm going to do now is just continue mixing these up, and that's it. So there you go, guys, that's how I do my spuds. Easy peasy lemon squeezer. What I quickly forgot to mention, put a label in each of them so you know what they are. These are all Arran Pilot. Like I say, we've done them on St. Patrick's Day, and as you top the bucket up, obviously you're going to move the label up. Don't bury the bloody labels, you never know what you got. But yeah, 18th of March 2019, that's when we put these in, Arran Pilot. So we'll see how they do anyway. What I'm going to do now, I've got some these are Maris Piper, great chipping potato. So we're going to be doing these in the other buckets, but you know, that's what we've got to do. So we'll have at it, and we're done here. Basically, same thing, exactly the same way. Blood fishing bone, 2 potatoes in each of the bottom of the buckets. Top them up as they grow, and you'll be good to go. So as you saw the frog spawn, well, that's safely in the pond, do it no harm, and we've actually put another one of these trays in that corner there, just down there, so the frogs, if they spawn again, they'll spawn into that, and we can put that in as well. There's a lot of frogs in here. They're all over at this side at the moment, but yeah, so the most important, we move the frog spawn and it's safe, so you know, there's no problems with the frog spawn. You saw all the buckets, all been set out now. Like I say,
as was saying in the video there, if you want bigger potatoes, less chits. The less chits, least amount of chits you got on your potato, the bigger the potatoes that they are. If you want smaller potatoes, 4 or 5 chits. You want big potatoes, just 1 or 2 chits. So there you go. I always plant my potatoes at the bottom of the bucket, because what happens is they grow up, and all the roots where the potatoes lie, all, you know, as they're growing up, they spread out of the bucket. I've never found potatoes. Well, I've found 1 or 2 potatoes at the bottom of the bucket. They always seem to grow above the seed potatoes. So plant them deep, and once they get to the top of the bucket, that's it. You know, if you've been putting the compost in there, building them up. I will say you're going to get some frost. So as soon as you start to see these potatoes coming up, I would, up to around the end of April, we'll put a bit of fleece over the top of them. By the time these are ready to come out of here, the tomatoes will be ready to go in here as well. So yeah, the other most important thing as well is the label, the date. It's the 18th today, the 3rd, 2019, and this year we're using the Leventon's multi-purpose for the simple reason me mate George, Irish lad, born and bred in Southern Ireland, great guy, he's a teacher, head teacher he is. He dropped me 5 bags of this Leventon's multi-purpose compost. So not to disappoint him, I'm actually doing my spuds in it this year. So thanks to George for all that. The compost. We mixed in like bloodfish and bone as well. We don't need a potato grow more. I've done it before with potato grow more. I've even put bloodfish and bone in there with it as well, and I've tried it with just bloodfish and bone, and it works just as well. So you know, we'll have to wait and see. The proof of the pudding is in the eating, as they say, and hopefully in the next few weeks we'll start to see them eat the potato rising in the buckets. Anyway, with that, again, to all my friends across the pond there, and all my friends here in the UK, happy St. Patrick's Day, and don't get too drunk. I know you're not going to pay any attention, but hey ho. Goodbye for now.